Hello, everybody. This is Alia Jamal, the Love Coach, and we are meeting for another Love Circle. And today we are talking about a little bit of a serious and more honest topic, and that is the topic of self-betrayal. So today we are going to talk about how you can detect it, and also we are going to talk about how you can heal it, release it, forgive yourself, and move forward, and hopefully start living in a way where we are not betraying ourselves. So I do have a good chunk of notes ready for us to go through. The first thing I want to talk about when we are talking about something this personal, this deep, is no judgment. Because as soon as I start judging myself for whatever I have done in the past or any way I have betrayed myself, I am going to get triggered. I'm going to back off. I'm going to come up with a justification, and then I'm going to run to the side, get distracted, do something else. And the transformation or the healing of that betrayal would never happen. So what we want to do, we want to take all the judgment, pick it up, just put it to a side, throw it out the window, throw it out the door, and let's just be present with ourselves in this conversation. Because if we can be present with ourselves without running away, we actually have a chance to use that energy. We have the opportunity to use the energy of present moment and transform into another way of being. And that is our goal for today. So now that piece is out of the way, what is betrayal? So many times we get betrayed by other people. You might get betrayed by your friends. You maybe got betrayed by your family. You maybe got betrayed by your intimate partner. And then you're just thinking, why these kind of things happen to me? And I personally come from that background. When I got betrayed, I just did not understand how will I ever make sense of the world again? I I completely lost trust in every single thing, including myself, life, God, you name it. I did not trust anybody after that or anything after that. And I had to go through the healing process to create that trust. But the truth is, so this is where we are sharing the truth. This is where I'm telling you, you'll get triggered, but we are just going to take a deep breath, inhale, exhale. The truth is, whenever we detect somebody betraying us in any shape or form, we are betraying ourselves. If that energy is not present within me, it's not going to be part of my reality. So I can sit here and I can blame all the people who have betrayed me in my past. That's not going to change anything. I have to pause and look at myself. Where is that coming from? How I have betrayed myself that I am attracting this energy from the outside. Because we live from inside outward, not outward inside. That is how universe works. And if we can align with the universe, our life is going to become so much easier. That is what we are here to do today. So now the second part is in place. If you have ever been betrayed, small, big, large, extra large, whatever shape or form, it is within you. So now let's dig into where does this thing even start? So we all come to this planet, to this world, as pure love, pure energy. But then we go through a conditioning process. So during that conditioning process, that is when the personality is being formed. So let's say you came into this world, you're pure love, light, energy, and then your parents have their own energetical pattern that they've been carrying, that they have not worked through. And you are absorbing all of that. Kids start picking up energetical patterns before they understand language or words or anything else. And the trust that we have in ourselves, in life, in people, in God, all of the trust is built between first 12 months of our life. That is very, very small. So let's say if in first 12 months, your parents were not really available for you. Maybe your mom had to work. Maybe your mom got sick. Maybe somebody else had to take care of you. Maybe your parents were just going through some kind of struggle. Maybe they were moving. They were not very much emotionally psychologically available for you, or even physically available for you, what that does, that the personality that is being created, it's literally like a code that has been entered into your nervous system, says that you're not worthy. And when that gets plugged in, that you're not worthy, see, that is separate from your truth. In our truth, we are worthy. There's nothing wrong with us. We are complete. So then when that lie gets programmed into your nervous system, you disconnect from your truth. As soon as we disconnect from our truth, that is the first level of betrayal. The disconnect that happened between our true self when this false self gets created, the betrayal has already happened. But at that time, you're an infant. You have no idea. All those energetical patterns you're going to live as you grow older. So just want to share how young we are when all of these things are getting programmed into our nervous system through that conditioning. So by the time we are 7, we know that we should behave certain way, we should study certain things, we should do this, we shouldn't do that. All the shoulds that get placed in, they are coming from our culture, they are coming from our society we are in, they are coming from our very specific family. They all are taking you away from who you are. In our truth, we all are complete. We all are, loved. Well, let's say, even if you were taught to treat someone different based on, for whatever reason, that is a form of betrayal. That is being programmed into your nervous system because it's separating you from your truth. So let's say teenage year comes. So whatever program you receive, now you're going to actually live it. So you feel low self-esteem. You feel like there's something wrong with you. Even one tiny pimple seems like, the mountain is on top of your head and you look so weird because it's that tiny program that was put in you. There's something wrong with you is now living that way. So whenever during your teenage years, you felt there's something wrong with you, you're betraying yourself. You're betraying yourself because you're going against yourself. Now, where it gets tricky, no one ever taught you any other way. So you don't even know. You don't even know you were betraying yourself. Anytime your friends, they do something and then you try to overdo for them just so they would like you, just so they would invite you to their next party, you're betraying yourself. So we get into the people-pleasing behavior because our nervous system feels like I need to be safe. I don't have that safety within me because I disconnected from my true self. So now I don't feel safe within me. I need to find safety in how other people see me or be with me. So we start doing all kind of things. We start giving other people more importance than us. We start paying more attention to their opinion about us than our own opinion. And generally, we don't even build our opinion about ourselves way later into life. But every time we are doing that, we are betraying ourselves. This energetical, behavior that we have, it's invisible. You won't even see it, but it is going to hurt you in the long term. And we are going to talk about that. So for now, I just want to highlight every time you put somebody before you, above you, you are betraying yourself. And that goes to even like, let's say fast forward, you become a parent. And now you're a parent and your kids is everything. And pretty much every parent goes through that phase. Kid become everything because there's biological things involved. You have that extra motherhood force or the fatherhood force within you that wasn't there 9 months ago. So we start overgiving and then we end up in burnout. And you might be thinking, well, as a parent, as a new parent, it is very challenging to find a balance. It is challenging only if you have not built a relationship with yourself. But if you have built a relationship with yourself, if you have promised yourself, I am not going to betray myself anymore, in between those crazy nights and days with even an infant, you will be able to find pockets of time where you can prioritize yourself. I went through that for the first year of my son's life. I was literally living off of yogurt cups and granola bars and Magnum ice cream. That was my way to go. And very soon I realized that's not how life can go on. But that was me betraying myself. Um, so now how do we even come out of it? Like, yes, we know we got all this within us. How do we come out of it? One of the best way to start is whether you have a relationship with yourself or not, whether you have a very solid no relationship, wherever you are, just put your hand on your heart and close your eyes for a moment. Take a deep breath and just ask yourself, where in life have I betrayed you? And listen for the answer. If you've been talking to yourself, you will be able to get an answer much faster. But if you hear nothing, that's okay too. You just have not built that connection with yourself where the conversation could be back and forth. So another thing you can do, you can just write down, okay, how and where I put other people ahead of me. It's very simple. You can look at how you do it in your family life, how you do at your work, how you do it in all of your community work that you do, how you show up with your friends, how you show up with your parents, and just write it down. And some of them, yes, maybe let's say if you do have sick parents, if they're in the hospital for those 2-3 days, yes, you might be sacrificing your sleep and everything. That is one thing. We are not talking about that. That's an emergency. But let's say when you do have so many other siblings who can step up to plate, but you need to be in control. So you tell them all the time, no, I'll take care of it. No, I'll take care of it. I have been there myself too. That is when you're betraying yourself. That is when you are not a priority in your life. And if you're not a priority in your life, you are not going to be a priority in somebody else's life. So if we are going to force another person, which will be generally our intimate partner, that you are not making me your priority in your life, that means you don't even have that for yourself in your life. We cannot demand something from another person that we are not giving to ourselves. So now the two ways that you can resolve and come out of any kind of betrayal, any shape or form that you have going on. The first one is understanding. We're going to go really deep into that one. And the second is making a different choice. It's just that easy. So what is understanding? I'll tell you guys my story of massive betrayal with myself. So after a 4-year constant struggle and growth, I was finally able to file for divorce in 2019. And after 2 months, I withdrew my case. That was the biggest betrayal I did for myself, towards myself. It was nobody's fault. It was all on me. That is also when my real transformation started. Before that, I was learning, expanding, becoming aware. But now it was time to transform because I have really gone way above and beyond going against myself. I have gone against myself in the past, prioritize other people over me, but this was just like, breaking the glass ceiling kind of top notch. So when I started working on that specific moment and trying to resolve it and trying to forgive myself for that, the crucial part was understanding. Understanding who I was in that moment, understanding why I did it, and understanding that the person I was at that time didn't know any other way. The person afterwards other ways, but that person, that version of Alia, she didn't know any other way. So as you're listening, I would like you to just keep one thing in front of you, one thing that has happened in your life where you have betrayed yourself. It could be in your personal life, it could be in your intimate relationship, could be with a friend, could be with a coworker. So that's where you put yourself in front of you and you ask yourself why I did it. Well, what is it that led that decision? What led me to go against myself, prioritize somebody else? Was it to please them? Was it to get validation from them? Or was it to feel safe? Sometimes when we are part of a group, we feel very safe, and safety is important to us. If we have not created inner safety yet, that outer safety is very important to us. If we have not learned to validate ourselves yet, that outer validation is very, very important to us. And if we have not, you know, build that relationship within us, it's very important to get all of that from others. If we are not pleased with ourselves, we would try to please other people. That they would say, "Oh my God, you're so wonderful. You're such a giving person. You're an angel." We want to hear those words because we are not saying those words to ourselves. So what understanding does, it brings compassion for the person that you were. It could be yesterday, or the person you were last week, or the person you were 10 years ago. It brings compassion that that person did not know any other way. And the more you understand this piece about yourself, where you're coming from, the easier it's going to be to forgive yourself. It's okay if I betrayed myself. I didn't know any other way. It took me a long time. I would say at least a year or a little over a year to 100% release that betrayal. And I am the only person who is 100% responsible for that moment. It was nobody else involvement. But where did it come from? It came from the conditioning of my own nervous system. My nervous system did not feel stable doing what I was going to do. So it was like, let me just back off. And when I backed off, I betrayed myself. And that is how we do things all the time. I'm talking about something so big. Let me talk to you about something so small. When so I'll just share an example from my life. You might resonate with it. So every day when I was making breakfast in the beginning, I'll just make one plate of breakfast and, it's half is mine, half is my son's. I'm feeding him. So whatever he wants to eat, I'll eat that too. And I realized as I started working on my relationship with myself, wait a minute, what if I don't want to eat what he's eating? Every day I'm force feeding myself what he wants to eat. That's betrayal. That's betrayal on a very, very, very small scale, but it's going to have bigger impact in your life. Then it will become okay to put yourself behind other people in other areas of your life, parts of you that will be more impactful. So it did take a little bit of time for me to start making 2 plates of breakfast, to start making special breakfast for me on my own very specific needs and wants. And when we start giving to ourselves to that level, even what I eat matters, no one can get between you and you. That is when you're coming together, like, I got you. I'll feed you whatever you want. I'm not even going to take you to a restaurant that you don't want to go to just because other people want it. So again, I just want to highlight, we are not talking about that you become this stuck-up person who can never get along with anybody because you always want to stand out from the crowd and you're like, me, I come first. We are not talking about that behavior because that behavior comes from a place of fear. We are talking about acknowledging your own needs emotionally, psychologically, physically, spiritually, and nurturing them yourself. a constant communication with yourself, and you're nurturing them. And whatever you have done in the past, understanding why you did it and the person you were in that moment that you had to do that and accepting that. That is how you're going to make amends with yourself. That is how we are going to go from what's wrong with you? Why can't you get it right? That kind of mindset to I understand and I love you and I forgive you. We cannot be our own enemy. Some people say it so proudly, oh, you know how we are our own worst enemy. Why is that even acceptable? If you are your own worst enemy, there is a problem in your own home. Your own home is burning. Save it. We cannot go against ourselves. That is just inviting trouble. Because that energy, when you're attacking yourself, what kind of energy that is going to attract? More people, more situations that would attack you. And then sometimes we're like, I don't know what's wrong with my life. It just looks a big mess. The mess that we see outside is the mess that we got going on within us. That we have to take ownership without judgment and one by one bring the pieces together, understand why we did what we did. That brings us to the second step, and that is making a different choice. So whatever is coming to the surface for you, whatever is happening, this is the moment where you get to ask yourself, what different choice am I going to make going forward? One of the choices I made way in the past, I used to buy gifts for everybody. Holiday, birthday, I'll buy gifts for everybody. If I'll go to the mall, I'll buy clothes for everybody. And I might or might not get something for myself. But what I have started to do, I made a different choice. When I go to the mall, first I buy stuff for myself. If it's holiday, I'll buy the holiday gift for myself. If it's a birthday, I'll buy something for myself. If I am getting something for my son, I'll make sure I am getting something for myself too. So I am not treating myself as I don't matter. I have to take the action where I am treating myself that I matter in every single area of my life. There's no place where I'm saying, oh, this person is more important than me. I should be doing things for them. Now that's a different, thing that if I'm going to get a toy for my son and I'm not in a mood of a toy, I won't buy it for me. But keeping in mind that when we are giving to others, giving to ourselves too. So just pay attention to however you have lived your life, however you have betrayed yourself based on how you were conditioned to be. What are some different choices you'll need to make? What are different decisions that you'll need to make? And I'm just checking my notes. Okay. And one last thing. So if you are a person who stays stuck in the past, I guess I should have said this in the beginning to set the tone. If you're a person who stays stuck in the past and you keep thinking about the past events, let's say you're just driving down the road and, this event from the past just pops up and you're just like, I'm thinking about it. I thought I was over it. It's from 10 years ago. That means there is a level of betrayal that is present that you have not resolved yet. And when you do this work, when you go back and you understand and you feel that compassion for yourself and you make a different choice, then you're not going to go into the past. And it is going to save you from so much energy, so much energy. When we go into the past, we are not in the present moment. We don't get to use the energy that's available to us right now to create the future. If I am going into the past, most likely I'm afraid that the past is going to repeat. That's what I create. But if I stay present, because present leads to unknown. If I just stay here, I get to create whatever I want to create. Whatever I am focusing on, whatever I am paying attention to, I'm not creating from fear or doubt or worry or confusion. So that's why it's so important to make a different choice, who you want to be, so you can release those past events that pull on you. Just about two months ago, I was in a meeting, and I said one sentence, and the way I said it, my mind kept going back to it over and over and over. I disconnected, I did all the things that I did, and I was like, why does it just keep coming back? Let me actually sit with it. And in that moment, when I did speak that sentence, I was very conscious of what others are going to think of me. And that is betrayal. In that moment, as I had that thought, what others are going to think of me, I betrayed myself. So that energy was icky, heavy. It was pulling me to that moment. Hey, this needs to be resolved. So when I sat down, I thought of that moment. I took myself back into that moment, and I reassured myself that I can speak any way I want. I have the permission to say whatever I want. And I am not concerned that all these people are watching me and what they are going to think. And if that moment I did have that, I held myself with compassion that it's okay. Maybe you were not in your game. Maybe you were just tired that moment, that you did not stay so present. And that thought from your conditioning came and derailed you. I released that. It took me maybe 5 to 10 minutes, and that moment stopped popping in my head. And I started saving so much energy. Whenever we are not scattered brain, we are saving energy. And when you start releasing the times when you have betrayed yourself, you start saving that energy. And when you make a different choice to act in a different way towards you, so you don't keep betraying yourself, so you become your ally, your friend, your lover, all by yourself, you get to keep all that energy to create anything you want to create in your life. So that is how we are ending it today. That is all for today. And we are going to see each other next Thursday. I'm sending you all a lot of love. Bye.